Hello friends, this video on sound part 1 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Topics to be covered in this lesson are Introduction, what produces sound, sound produced by humans, propagation of sound, human ear, oscillatory motion, amplitude, time period, frequency, audible and inaudible sounds, and noise pollution. So what do you think are we going to discuss when we say sound? I don't really think that I need to define what do we mean by sound. So let us quickly look at some of the examples which actually tells you that we hear a lot of sounds around us every day, every time. In fact, right now also, whatever I am speaking, you are able to hear it. Why? Because a sound is being produced. Think of a marriage party going out or a band going out. So they produce a lot of sound. I mean, they play a lot of instruments. You have the drums, you have the horns and the bells, and there's so many different types of instruments which are being played together, and that produces a different type of sound. You talk about any sort of music, you talk of the musical instruments like a flute or a guitar or a sitar or a tabla or a dholak. So there are so many variety of musical instruments, and all of them produce different types of sounds. You think of these living organisms like the birds, the chirping of the birds, different birds sound. You compare the sound produced by a crow with the sound produced by a cuckoo. So their sounds are so very different. Think of a very simple thing, that is the bell. Whether it is present in your temple or it is present in your school premises. So the bell, you see, it again produces a different type of sound. Whatever we talk, like right now I am speaking and you are able to hear it because I am producing sound. When we talk, when we laugh, when we sing, so in all these situations, a lot of sound is produced which is heard by other person. Just look at these simple examples. You take a rubber band or anything which is elastic in nature. Just try to stretch it. Stretch it using both your hands and then leave it. What happens? It produces a sound. So in this lesson, basically we are going to talk about what produces sound. How is this sound produced? And how do we hear sounds? That sounds quite simple because you might say that, okay, we have ear. Okay, now what we are going to discuss here is the structure inside the ear, how ear helps us to listen to different types of sounds, why are different sounds so different, like the sound which is produced by a guitar is very much different from the sound which is produced by a human being while talking, like the way I am talking right now. A specific type of sound is being produced, but the sound produced by a guitar, that is quite different. So how are these sounds? How is one sound different from another? So that is what we are going to discuss in detail in this lesson. So let us start with the importance of sound. I mean, why are we talking about sound? Why is it so important? So one basic necessity of sound is communication. Now, how do we talk to each other? How do we communicate our feelings to other person? Let us say you are hungry, okay? So you need something to eat. So what do? You have to convey this information to your mom or whoever is there at your home that, okay, I am hungry and I need something to eat. So how do you communicate that? You communicate by talking. You just tell your mom that, okay, mom, I'm hungry and you give me something to eat. So when you speak, what is happening? Sounds are being produced, and because sound is produced, your mother is able to hear whatever you are speaking. So sound is very, very important for communication. Not only for personal communication, like whether you talk about people talking over, not only face to face, but also over telephones. So these days, you see, distance doesn't really matter. So maybe one person is sitting out there in Bangalore, the other person is sitting somewhere in some other country. some other state. So they cannot hear their voice directly because they are too far from each other. But now you have your so many different modes of communication. So you can talk to each other over telephones. So there also sounds are being produced, and that is why you are able to communicate with each other. So communication is one very important thing where sound is useful. Next is music. Due to the presence of sound, we are able to enjoy music. In music also you have many different types of music. You have happy music, you have sad music, and when you listen to music, it helps you to relax your body and mind. So the existence of music is due to the existence of sound. Signaling system. For example, you just think of the alarm clock, which wakes you up every morning. So this is something which is very beneficial for you, right? You don't really need to depend on any other person, maybe either your mother or your friend, to wake you up. You just have your clock, the alarm clock, which starts producing a very different type of sound when you are about to wake up. Let us suppose you want to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. So every day at 6 o'clock, your alarm clock, it produces a very different and very unique sound. And because of that sound, you wake up. So it is used in not only in alarm clocks but also in different types of alarms like fire alarms, or also in schools. In schools also you have the bells which tells you that okay, the first period is over, then comes your second period, third class, and so on. So everywhere you see, wherever you want to signal something, beginning or start of something, you want to wake up somebody, so that in those kind of signaling systems also sound plays a very important role. Locating objects. For example, let us suppose that you are not able to see. Somebody has closed your eyes. Okay. Now, if you have to locate object based on their sound. Now, if let us say your eyes are closed, you are not able to see where the different objects are. And now let us see that a train is coming from very far. Now as the train approaches you, what happens? The sound of the train increases. So by concentrating on the sound of the train, you can actually make a rough idea how far the train is from you. Because the closer the train comes, the sound becomes more stronger. And the further away the train goes, the sound becomes more faint. So by interpreting the sound which you are able to hear, you can also locate objects, that where that object is located. So that is another benefit of the presence of sound. Thank you. Please visit www.examfear.com to watch more educational videos with a better experience. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for latest updates. Thank you once again.